shop, always go 4-2 and never, ever 3-putt. Thank you, as always, for tuning in, everybody. Man, a week. Let me just tell you really quick. In this episode, we're going to chat about Justin Rose just blitzed the field. So we're definitely going to cover that. That's an obvious one. We're going to talk about Brooks Koepka. I mean, the guy's back on the PGA Tour. Then lastly, as we're kind of transitioning to this new format of the solo weekly wraps, we're going to finish up with some three-wiggle wisdom. And I'm excited to kind of touch on that for you guys, especially for all of our folks that are live in one of the, the areas of the U.S. where we can't play golf year round. We're not in that Southern Texas, Florida, Southwest, Southern California region. And so we need to be doing something to stay active. Without further ado, let's just get into this thing, man. Justin Rose absolutely ran the table on these guys. Led the field in scoring. That's pretty obvious. Tied Tiger's tournament, scoring record here. Torrey Pines for the Farmers Insurance. He led the field in strokes gained, tee to green, and approach. So his ball striking was just immaculate all week long. And that says a lot. I mean, let's be honest. Okay, Torrey was playing as perfect and quote unquote easy as it's going to play, because Torrey Pines is not an easy golf course. Last year when Harris English won, I think he won at 8 under, and so J Rose literally tripled that score. So, but the greens were perfect. There was no wind. There was no rain. There was no what do they call that? It's not smog, but it's like they always like to talk about it on the West Coast. It's the ocean, whatever, that haze that comes in, off the coast. But that wasn't there for the entire week, and so it was just prime for scoring and making birdies, and the whole field did that. It's just Justin Rose. He hit the golf ball so good. He hit so many fairways that. He was always giving himself good looks into these greens, and he was hitting great iron shots and wedge shots. And so thus that added up to 23 under par. So, congrats, Justin Rose, man. I mean, he's another guy. I literally just referenced him. I think it was last week or the week before about, with Jason Day. Yeah. About how he's playing good golf here in kind of his golden years of the PGA Tour. And here he is, and he wins. So, that was awesome. I kind of want to laugh at myself. Kind of quickly tangent off. I picked Ludwig this week, thinking that because he had won at Torrey Pines for the Genesis last year, because they moved it because of the fires, that he was going to come out and play great. And he literally finished like next to dead last. So that was an utter flop of a pick. I also picked for Brooks Koepka to miss the cut, and he definitely made the cut. So we'll jump into him here in a second, man. But wow, what a week for Justin Rose. And talk about, I mean, because last year he finished second to Rory at the Masters, and so he's playing fantastic golf leading into the first major of the year. That's a month and a half away. So, 2.5 months away, and hopefully he can continue that streak of play, because I would love to see him get another major. I mean, obviously when you won at Marion in 2013, the U.S. Open, that was awesome. I think he took down Phil in that one. That was another one of Phil's runner-ups, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong on that. Anyways, yeah, just great stuff out of Justin Rose all week long. Kudos to him, man. Brooks Koepka, we got to get right to him. He definitely, he mentioned he was nervous, and there was a lot of people regurgitating that as far as fans and some of the, commentators and analysts and people within the professional golf world, inside the ropes. They were getting that message and feel from him early on Thursday. But honestly, I mean, after you get out there and you get that first tee shot out of the way, and it doesn't matter who you are. I think that the nerves pretty much go away after you hit that golf ball and you get into the round of golf. And so Brooks played really well. I mean, all things considered, his putter escaped him for sure. I mean, he's got a lot. I would imagine that this week leading into the Waste Management, where he's won twice, he's probably going to be putting a lot of time on the putting green. His ball striking was, I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. I mean, he was He was way up there in strokes gained. He drove it really well. He had some double crosses that I think he's probably going to allocate a little time to trying to sort that out. Um, but the waste management, I mean, I played TPC Scottsdale myself, and it's a pretty open golf course, and so you don't have to be perfect off the tee to score well there. But it does come down to making putts because again, that's a tournament that people are going to go low. So Brooks is going to have that sharpened up if he wants to have a chance at one, making the cut again, but two, having a chance to contend. His last win was, let's see, I want to say it was 2024 Greenbrier Live Tour, beat John Rahm there, and so that was huge for him. I think that was his second win on the Live Tour, but nonetheless, it's been a year and a half since he's won. And then on top of that, he's back on the PGA Tour, which is, it's a better field of golfers. We're not even really going to get into that because that's just not really up for debate. But yeah, I mean, I was excited to see Brooks back. I picked him to miss the cut. If you saw on my story, he'd played there prior to this week. He'd played 5 competitive tournaments there, 4 Farmers Insurances, and 1 U.S. Open. And he missed the cut the majority of those times that he teed it up there. And so this week, I just kind of thought like it was in the stats, but he had that focus on his mind this week for sure, which was, hey, I want to go out there. I want to play 4 days of golf. And so that was good, man. He was very well received by the fans. And I'm predicting, I think he'll get a win this year. I do. I think he'll win. I don't know if it'll be a major since he left the PGA Tour for those 3 years. His performances in majors wasn't great, which I don't know if you guys listening saw that clip of the reporter who said that to him. And he goes, Brooks said something to the tune of like, well, thanks for pointing that out. And he's like, well, it's right there in writing, buddy. You're the one hitting the shots. And so I don't know if that was totally necessary to kind of throw shade at him like that. I mean, Brooks knows that he didn't play well in the majors, but at the same time, when you're talking to a 5-time major champion, I always expect, I mean, he has that experience he can draw back on. He has that level of confidence to know that he has a tendency to perform well in big tournaments. And so I look for him to win this year. If he wins a major, it wouldn't surprise me, but his putting's going to have to get in much better shape for sure. And his driving, I mean, that double cross that we saw a little bit this week, I mean, if that's any type of a consistent issue for him, that's a quick way to derail yourself in major championships, make big numbers, and play yourself out of the tournament really quickly. So that would be my quick analysis on Brooks' state of the state right now. I watched golf every day. I watched every one of his rounds, and so really wanting to see, hey, where's he at? Like, what's he looking like? What's his game looking like? And like I said, man, his iron play was really good. And for the most part, he drove it well. That putter has got to get into shape. And I will say his short game wasn't that tidy. I mean, he was not giving himself great opportunities when he had a wedge in his hand around the green or in the bunkers. He wasn't hitting it routinely inside of 5-6 feet. I felt like he was always leaving himself more of that 6, 7, 8, 9, and sometimes obviously a little bit longer than that. So we'll see what we see, but all in all, I think Brooks would say it was a successful week for him. Did he get as much out of the week as he wanted? He would probably say no, but again, he played 4 days. Great week. Great Farmers Insurance Open, man. Again, kudos to Justin Rose. Just absolutely ran the table on these boys. And that was there's just nothing better than watching a guy who's absolutely locked in, not missing golf shots, and then he's rolling the rock right after that. So, all right. A little 3-wiggle wisdom for you guys. It's the time of the year where, again, if you live in, anywhere north of like the Dallas, Texas latitude line, we'll say. If you live anywhere north of there, your golf's been on hold for a little bit now, and it's going to remain on hold. Hopefully, we're going to get a few days above freezing, actually a little bit above 40 later this week. So I'm hoping that me and my buddy Brooks, not Brooks Koepka, but Brooks Polson, he's a soon-to-be young college golfer, are going to be able to get out and go play next Sunday. I'm looking forward to that. And if we will, stay tuned. I'll let you guys know. We're going to film that, and that'll be on YouTube. We're going to do a little match, and so I'm excited for that. pending that the snow goes, it melts off enough that we can get out there and do that. If you live north of that line, then, and of course, we're talking under the context that you're interested in getting better at golf, then you need to be doing something in the off season. Obviously, if you have a garage set up and a putting mat, then you have access. But if you don't have those things, then what can you do to try to take advantage of the time that you do have indoors and make the most of it so you're not completely stale coming out of the winter slump? So the first thing we're going to talk about is working on your putting setup. So, it doesn't matter. You can have hardwood, you can have carpet, but you can putt inside. That's pretty obvious. Okay, so grab your putter, get a couple balls, and do the T/gate drill. Okay, this is the drill that Tiger, kind of somewhat made famous, but the truth is there's nothing complex about it. Blades referenced it. Blades Brown referenced it 2 weeks ago, right after his Amex. A wonderful, like made cut and played great there. He was talking about like what he does for putting, and he just does the gate drill, and it's so simple, but it is so effective. Which is, you put a tee, or you can do a spoon, or you can do golf balls. It doesn't matter, but you put two objects right on each side of your putter, and you hit putts, and you hit putts without hitting. Again, it's pretty simple and it's pretty obvious, but you hit putts without hitting the toe of your heel on those objects on each side. The tee is the easiest thing to do when you're out on the green. And if you're inside, you can set a tee upside down and you can do that. And that's so effective because you'll find out really quickly, unfortunately, how not fluid and consistent you are at, or let me just say, you'll find out how inconsistent you are at hitting the center of the putter face. And no different to what it takes to, hit the golf ball where you want out on the golf course or with a short game. You got to hit the center of the putter. So set that drill up and work on that. Okay. Do that. You can't do it too much. First off, we'll start with that, because I know that would be, if I was talking to somebody in person, that would be different. Well, how much do I do? It's stop. That's a question you should never ask. How much should I do? Well, it's not about how much should you do. It's about just doing it and continually doing it and never stopping doing it. Because when you have that mindset of just, I'm going to keep doing it because it's going to keep nudging me a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better, then you've shifted your mindset and how you want to go about preparing for the upcoming season. But secondly, you've taken out the concept that if I just do X amount of time or reps, I'll get where I want to go. That's just not how it works. So set that up. Secondly would be use mirrors. Okay. Use putting mirrors if you can get one of those. They're not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon for like 10, 15 bucks. So that's obviously great for standing over the golf ball, making sure that your eye line is where you want it and it's consistent. And then when you're standing over the golf ball, you should, with a good mirror, be able to see your shoulder alignment as well, which is really crucial. And then secondly to that is a full body mirror. There's nothing wrong. There's absolutely nothing wrong. And I actually encourage it, and I use it myself. Which is setting up a full body mirror to the left of you, like basically to each side of you as you're standing over the golf ball. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can understand what I'm basically trying to suggest, which is, so if you're standing here, like you're putting, as an example, you put a mirror over here and a mirror over here. And then you can put one in front of you as well. But I think that's a little bit less necessary. If we're talking strictly about putting, just put one down on the ground, the putting mirror over your eye line, and then one on each side of you. And you can really, really make sure that you're getting a consistent setup. Now, how to implement that, so that you are not getting into too much of a robotic mode, but you're actually creating like a change in your muscle memory, is to go in and out of that setup. Okay. It's not just sit there with the mirrors there and hit putts and check and hit putts. Yes, that is what you have to do. And I would say do that, in sets of, 10 or 15, but I would say no more than 15 for sure. You should be stepping out of that and then stepping back into that, into that setup and making sure that, again, you're achieving exactly where you want that alignment and setup to be, because it's easy that if you just, it's easy to, unfortunately, if you just stand there and you never step out, you're not really practicing like you would play, right? You're going to go in and out of that setup all day long on the golf course. And so you need to be, as much as you can, um, practicing just like that. So that'll be the second thing. And then the last thing, guys, is, man, and this is the most important one for sure, is visualize yourself doing whatever it is you're trying to work on and improve at successfully. Okay. That starts with like the umbrella goal of like play better golf and score well. Okay. So, yes, you should be visualizing yourself playing good rounds of golf. Okay. It doesn't matter what level you're at. That is a very, very, very effective tool. I've done that for a long time, especially before tournament rounds. And it's difficult. First off, it takes a lot of focus to sit there with your eyes closed. And for me, I always do it like as I'm laying in bed, but with your eyes closed and walk through 18 holes and hitting 65 golf shots, right? That's the goal, is you're setting yourself up to go play a really good round of golf, some 72 golf shots, whatever it is. And if it's, if you're a 90s golfer, then be realistic. Like you're not going to go shoot a 65 or a 72. But if you're a 90s golfer and you're really trying to shoot an 80, then you should visualize yourself going out there and only making 7, 8, 9 bogeys, 10 bogeys, and you make a couple of birdies. You should be really visualizing that. Okay. And then secondly is, if we're now talking about this technique that we're just trying to work on in this off season, is I'm going to work on my setup with my, my full swing posture with mirrors, and my putting posture and setup, with an eye line mirror and the mirrors to the left and right of me. Then when you go to bed, you should visualize that too. You should put yourself right back in that place of what it felt like to stand over the ball, knowing, because you have that feedback right there with the mirrors to say, that's sorry, that was kind of loud. I don't know if you heard that. I banged my desk because I'm getting a little excited about this, but you should, you should visualize what that feels like to be in that place where your alignment's right. You've done everything you can in your setup to set yourself up for success, to hit a successful stroke. That's all you can do. Okay. You got to just do that over and over and over again. And again, it goes back to, well, how much? It's not about how much. You should never stop visualizing yourself executing successfully whatever it is you're wanting to do, whether that's you work in sales and it's, like communicating with customers, or if it's you are the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills and you're Josh Allen and you want to make it through the AFC Championship and get to the Super Bowl. Like, it just doesn't matter. It applies to every application on life. It doesn't matter what you do. If you want to do everything in your power to inch closer and closer and closer and closer to it, visualization needs to be a big part of it. So visualize, visualize, visualize. Guys, thank you so much. That is going to wrap it up for the 25th episode of the Three Wiggle Golf Show. And we are creeping in on a milestone for downloads. So I want to say again, thank you guys so much. Man, I'm getting listeners all over the globe at this point. It is really wild. It's an interesting thing to think about that, because, a podcast, it is a product in a sense, but it's not a physical product. And so the ability to reach an audience and people that you're wanting to serve is, it's just really unique in that nature. And so I want to say thank you guys so much. I'm really enjoying it. And since, 4 episodes ago, when I really was able to get clear on what it is that I wanted to do, to bring to you guys in a way to serve, golfers and the golf audience to the best of my ability, it's just made it way more fun. It's just made it way more fun. Made it way more engaging for me. So I want to say thank you. Be sure to go over to Three Wiggle Golf Co. On TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Subscribe, like, follow, guys. And then lastly, please share. If you guys got a friend, a buddy who is into golf, or they're wanting to get into golf, I really encourage you to send them my way. Let them know that they got somebody in their corner who knows what it's like to, be that high 80s, 90s golfer, and just grind and really work and be patient and eager and willing to do whatever it is to get better. And you got somebody there in your corner. And so please send them my way, man. Thank you guys so much. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday for the Waste Management Open. Peace.